Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday folks looking to turn pocket change into big cash. Today, we're going deep into the world of one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Lincoln Wheat Cent, also known as the Wheat Penny. And guess what? Some of these tiny copper coins, often overlooked and sitting in jars across America, are worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and get ready. Because here are the top 23 most valuable and rare USA Lincoln Wheat pennies that you could find, and that could change your life. Let's get started with number 23 and work our way to number 1, the ultimate wheat cent worth a staggering fortune. Today, we've got an incredible story about a coin that you might just have in your possession right now. It's small, it's old, and if it's in the right condition, it could be worth an eye-popping $49,093. That's right. We're talking about the 1940 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. But under the right conditions, this little 1-cent coin from over 80 years ago has turned into a goldmine for collectors. So grab your magnifying glass and your coin jar, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what makes this penny valuable, how to identify the rare varieties, and why some collectors are willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars for just a single example. Let's get started. First, let's take a step back into history. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny is part of one of the longest-running and most beloved coin series in American history, the Lincoln Cent, introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than the symbolic images used previously. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, whose initials, VDB, caused some early controversy when they first appeared prominently on the coin. By 1918, those initials were moved to a more subtle position on the reverse, just under Lincoln's shoulder. The reverse of the 1940 penny still featured the wheat ears design, often called the wheat back, or wheat reverse, penny. It reads 1 cent, and United States of America, flanked by 2 stalks of wheat, with the motto, E pluribus unum, above. This reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958. In 1940, the U.S. Mint was producing coins in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint coins, like the one we're talking about today, carry no mint mark. And while that might sound ordinary, this is where things get interesting. Now let's talk about mintage and circulation. In 1940, the Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering 586,810,000 Lincoln pennies. That's over 500 million coins. So naturally, the average circulated 1940 penny isn't going to be worth much, maybe just a few cents over face value. But here's the twist. When it comes to coin collecting, it's not just about age, it's about condition, rarity, and era types. And that's exactly what sets certain 1940 no-mint mark pennies apart from the rest. While most of the coins were heavily circulated, a small number were preserved in mint state, untouched, uncirculated, and stored in exceptional condition for decades. A tiny handful of these pennies exist in MS-68 red grade, nearly perfect condition, and those are the ones that are pulling in $49,093 at auction. Yes, a 1940 penny, worth 1 cent when minted, now worth nearly $50,000. So, what exactly makes a 1940 penny worth that much? Let's break down the 4 major factors. Point 1. Grade and condition. This is the single most important factor in the coin's value. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. A grade of MS-60 to MS-70 refers to mint state, meaning the coin has never been in circulation. Most 1940 pennies are found in circulated condition, worn, scratched, or discolored. But if you have one in MS-67 or MS-68, especially with a bright copper-red color, you could be holding something incredibly rare. Only a tiny handful of 1940 no-mint mark pennies have been certified as MS-68 red by grading services like PCGS or NGC, and those are the coins that are breaking price records. Point 2. Color designation, red RD. Lincoln pennies are made primarily of 95% copper, and over time, copper reacts with the air and changes color. Coins are designated as red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, based on their tone. Red coins retain that original mint luster and color, and they are the most valuable. A 1940 MS-68 brown penny might be worth a few $100s, but an MS-68 red version has sold for $49,093.30. Strike quality, and eye appeal even in high grades, the overall eye appeal can push the value up. That means a sharp strike, no distracting marks, perfect centering, and blazing luster all add value. A beautiful coin in hand gets more attention, and higher bids, at auction. Point 4. Rarity in high grade. While over 500 million 1940 pennies were made, only a few dozen exist in MS-68 red condition. That's what makes them so incredibly valuable. The demand among top collectors to own the best of the best is what pushes values to astronomical levels. But wait, there's more. In addition to high grades, there are also error varieties that can make a 1940 penny valuable. Some of the most notable errors to watch for include double dia verse DDO. This error features visible doubling on the date or lettering. If you notice any extra thickness in the inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust, you might have a double die. Off-center strikes. Coins that were not aligned properly during striking may be partially blank or off-center. Depending on the percentage of the off-center strike and how well the design appears, these errors can be worth hundreds or thousands. Lamination errors. These occur when the metal surface of the coin begins to peel or flake due to impurities in the planchet. Though not as rare, they still add collector value. If your 1940 penny has an error and it's in high-grade condition, the value can increase dramatically. Now, let's talk about real auction sales. The most valuable 1940 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny ever sold was graded MS-68 RD by PCGS. That single coin brought in $49,093 at public auction. Why? Because of its top-tier condition, its brilliant red color, and the sheer rarity of such a flawless example surviving all these years. Other MS-67 RD examples regularly sell for $1,000 to $5,000 depending on eye appeal and the auction house. Even if your 1940 penny is an MS-65 RD or MS-66 RD, it could still be worth several $100s. So now you're wondering, how can I tell if my 1940 penny is valuable? Here's what you need to do. Step 1. Check for the mint mark. Your coin should not have a mint mark under the date. That means it was struck in Philadelphia. Step 2. Check the condition. Is it shiny and lustrous, or dull and brown? If your coin looks bright red and has no wear, it may be in uncirculated condition. Step 3. Use a magnifier. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers. Check for die cracks or off-center strikes. Any unusual marks could be signs of valuable mint errors. Step 4. Weigh the coin. A genuine 1940 penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. If it's significantly lighter or heavier, you may have an error planchet. Step 5. Get it graded. If you believe your coin is in exceptional condition, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can dramatically increase your coin's value and give you confidence when selling. And finally, why do collectors love the 1940 no-mint Mark penny so much? It's a combination of history, nostalgia, and rarity. It's part of a beloved series. It's a coin that feels familiar but can secretly be worth a fortune. It also reminds us that sometimes, the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. So there you have it. The incredible story of the 1940 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny, and how a simple copper coin could be worth up to $49,093 today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss out on more amazing rare coin discoveries. And if you've got a 1940 penny in your collection, or any old Lincoln cents, tell us about them in the comments below. You just might be holding a piece of hidden treasure. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and always check your change. You never know when a penny could be worth a fortune. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love rare coins, US minting history, and hidden treasures you can find in everyday pocket change, then you're in the right place. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that many people think is common, but in certain rare conditions, this penny can be worth a jaw-dropping $39 for 77. That's right, a single cent that could be hiding in your coin jar, old piggy bank, or a family collection might be worth nearly $40,000 today. So make sure you stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to tell if your 1941 Lincoln penny is valuable, and how to turn a 1-cent coin into life-changing money. Let's get right into it by exploring the history, value, and unique traits of the 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny. First, let's start with a little history. The 1941 Lincoln penny belongs to the iconic wheat cent series, which was minted from 1909 to 1958. The coin features the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor David Brenner, and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and strength. The year 1941 was a significant moment in U.S. and world history. World War II was raging in Europe, and although the U.S. had not yet entered the war, it was on the brink. The U.S. Mint produced an enormous number of pennies in 1941, especially to support the war economy and to help keep currency flowing. The Philadelphia Mint, which does not use a mint mark, struck the majority of 1941 pennies, over 887 million coins, to be exact. So you might be wondering, if there were so many made, how could one be worth nearly $40,000? The answer lies in the details. Even though hundreds of millions were produced, very few were saved in perfect condition. And even fewer were preserved in the brilliant red color that copper pennies originally had when they left the mint. Over time, most pennies darken, turn brown, or get damaged from circulation. But if a 1941 penny was kept safe in a collector's hands and maintained its original red luster, then it becomes something incredibly rare and valuable. Now let's talk about the factors that determine the value of your 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny. Number 1 is condition. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. Most 1941 pennies found in circulation are in grades between VF, very fine, and XF, extremely fine, which might only be worth a few cents to a couple of dollars. But coins that are in mint state, specifically graded MS-65, MS-66, MS-67, or even higher, are the true treasures. A 1941 Lincoln wheat penny graded MS-67 RD, where RD means it has retained its red copper color, is extremely rare. In fact, only a handful of such coins exist in the world. And it's one of these rare, top-graded coins that sold for a massive $39,477 at auction. That price isn't speculation, it's a confirmed sale that stunned even seasoned collectors. And that's why people are now combing through old penny rolls and coin albums, hoping to find one of these high-grade survivors. The second major factor is color designation. Lincoln wheat cents can be classified by color: BN for brown, RB for red-brown, and RD for red. The redder the penny, the more valuable it is. Coins that maintain their original red coloring for over 80 years are incredibly rare because copper reacts with air and moisture very easily. The third factor is eye appeal and rarity. If your penny not only has a high grade and red color, but also exhibits strong luster, no contact marks, and well-struck details, its value jumps significantly. And if it's in a rare population category, where only a few coins have received such a high grade from services like PCGS or NGC, collectors will compete fiercely to add it to their collection, driving the price way up. But that's not all. The 1941 penny is also known for a few interesting error types, which can dramatically increase its value. Some of the most valuable errors found on 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln pennies include double die obverse (DDO). This happens when the die used to strike. The coin has been engraved twice, slightly off position. This causes the text or Lincoln's features to appear doubled. Look at Liberty in God We Trust, or the date 1941. If you see doubling with the naked eye or through a magnifying glass, you may have a valuable error coin. Off-center strikes. When the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, part of the design might be missing. Depending on how much of the design is off-center and how visible the date is, These coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Die cracks or cuds, if there are raised, irregular lines or chunks missing from the design caused by die damage, the coin may be worth more. Struck on the wrong planchet, if a 1941 penny was accidentally struck on a dime or foreign planchet, it's a major rarity and could bring in serious money at auction. If you think you've got a 1941 no mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny that looks like it might be something special, here's what you need to do. First, examine the coin closely under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to inspect details like the date, the inscriptions, and the color. Is it shiny and red? Are there any signs of doubling? Is the strike sharp and clean? Next, compare it to known examples online using trusted sources or auction records. If you believe the coin has potential, your best move is to get it professionally graded by either PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. These are the most respected third-party grading companies, and their certification adds massive credibility and value to your coin. Once graded, your coin will be placed in a tamper-proof slab with a label indicating the grade and color designation. A certified MS-67RD or similar high-grade coin can then be listed at auction, where collectors will battle for ownership. Now, you may be thinking, what are the odds I'll find one? And to be honest, it's rare, but not impossible. People find high-value coins in pocket change, coin rolls, flea markets, and even tucked away in family heirlooms all the time. The key is knowing what to look for and being consistent in checking your coins. Remember, the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is over 80 years old, and it's a piece of American history. Even a circulated one can be a fun collectible. But a high-grade example? That's a payday waiting to happen. Let's wrap it up. The 1941 no mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny might seem like just another old copper coin, but under the right conditions, it's worth a fortune. With a record auction sale of $39,477, this coin proves that not all treasure is buried. Sometimes, it's just sitting in your pocket or a forgotten coin. JAR.so. Go check your coins, especially those old wheat pennies. Look for bright red color, mint state surfaces, and any unusual features or doubling. And if you find one that stands out, don't hesitate to send it in for grading. If you found this video helpful or exciting, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome content on rare coins, their values, and how to find them. And if you've got a 1941 penny, or think you found a rare one, tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and until next time. Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, we're about to uncover the hidden value behind one of the most iconic and historic Lincoln wheat pennies in American numismatic history, the 1942 Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny. While many think of it as just another old penny, you might be shocked to learn that certain 1942 wheat pennies can sell for as much as $47,777 in today's coin market. Yes, you heard that right. One single penny from 1942, minted in Denver and carrying the tiny D mint mark, could be worth a small fortune depending on its condition and unique characteristics. So if you have an old coin jar or a collection passed down from your grandparents, it's time to pay close attention. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, what makes this coin so valuable, and why collectors are paying top dollar for this World War II era penny. Let's jump right into the fascinating history and value of the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny. The historical background. To truly appreciate the value of the 1942 penny, we have to start with the historical context. America was in the thick of World War II during this time. The economy, military, and even coin production were under strain as the country mobilized its resources for the war effort. Copper, which was a critical metal for military use, became a material of concern at the U.S. Mint. But in 1942, the Lincoln penny was still being struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, just as it had been since 1909. The 1942 penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which placed a small D mint mark just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. That year, the Denver Mint produced over 206 million Lincoln cents, a huge mintage, making the coin common at the time. However, the number of surviving examples in pristine condition today is very low, and that's where rarity and value begin to skyrocket. This coin features the classic wheat reverse design, with 2 wheat ears flanking the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB were controversially added and removed from early designs before finally being reinstated in later years. What makes the 1942 wheat penny valuable? Most 1942 Lincoln cents in circulated condition are worth only a few cents, or maybe a couple of dollars. But the game changes entirely when we talk about coins in mint state condition, especially those with red coloration and flawless surfaces. Let's break down what makes a 1942 penny worth as much as $47,777.10. Mint state condition, MS-67 and above, coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. Anything in the range of MS-60 and above is considered uncirculated. But the highest premiums are paid for coins in MS-67, MS-67 Plus, and MS-68. These are coins that show nowhere at all, with full strike details and outstanding luster. Point 2. Red color designation RD, copper coins tone over time. They can turn brown, BN, red-brown, RB, or retain their original bright red RD color if stored in ideal conditions. A red designation, especially in high mint state grades, drastically boosts the coin's value. The highest auction prices for the 1942 wheat penny have been for MS-67 RD examples. Point 3. Extremely low population in high grades. Out of the 206 million minted, only a small handful of 1942 pennies have survived in flawless, red mint state condition. Grading services like PCGS and NGC have certified only a tiny number at MS-67 RD or better. And when you have a coin with extreme rarity in top grades, collectors are willing to bid aggressively. Point 4. Auction record, $47,777 sale. One of the most eye-popping results for a 1942 Lincoln cent was the sale of an MS-67 RD specimen for $47,777 in a heritage auction. The coin had blazing red luster, razor-sharp strike, and was free of any distracting marks. It was considered one of the best-known examples in existence. This set a record and pushed the 1942 penny into the league of elite collectible coins. How to check if you have a valuable 1942 penny? Now comes the part you've all been waiting for. How can you check if your 1942 wheat penny is one of these rare treasures? Here's what you need to do. Step 1. Look for the D mint mark. Make sure your coin has the small D mint mark under the date. That confirms it was minted in Denver. Step 2. Check the color. Does the coin still shine with a copper red brilliance? Or has it toned to brown? Red color is key to high value. A bright, red coin is far more desirable. Step 3. Examine the condition. Look at the coin under good light or a magnifying glass. Are there any scratches, nicks, wear on Lincoln's cheek, jawline, or jacket? If it's worn, it won't fetch big bucks. If it's mint state, especially if it looks untouched, you may have something special. Step 4. Consider getting it graded. If your coin looks near perfect, it's worth sending to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will give it an official grade, encapsulate it, and boost its resale value significantly. Collector demand and future value. The 1942 wheat penny sits in a sweet spot for collectors. It's not just old, it's tied to a powerful historical moment, struck in the final year before the U.S. Mint transitioned to steel pennies in 1943 due to the war. That alone adds to its nostalgic value. On top of that, the wheat penny series is one of the most collected coin series in America. Whether you're assembling a full date and mint set or collecting top-grade examples, the 1942 penny is a critical piece. Because of limited high-grade population, coins like the MS-67 RD 1942 are likely to increase in value over time. As more collectors enter the market and competition for top coins heats up, even average specimens in good condition could see price gains. Current market value of the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny. Let's break it down. Circulated condition, worth between 5 cents and $1.50. Uncirculated MS60 to MS63, between $4 and $1.25. MS64 to MS65 RD, worth $50 to $1.50. MS66 RD, valued at $300 to $600. MS67 RD, between $2,500 and $10,000. Top grade MS67 plus RD/MS68 RD, up to $47,777 and beyond. Always check the PCGS population reports and recent auction results for the most accurate pricing. Final thoughts. So there you have it. The incredible story of the 1942 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin minted in the middle of a world war, overlooked by many, but potentially worth tens of thousands of dollars today. From its historical roots to its record-breaking auction sale, this little copper coin proves that even the smallest change can make a huge difference. If you've got old pennies lying around, don't ignore them, especially from the early 1940s. Check for the D mint mark. Look for that red copper color. Examine the surface for mint condition quality. And when in doubt, send it in for grading. Who knows? You might be sitting on a $47,777 treasure without even realizing it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of rare coin discoveries and value breakdowns. And if you think you've got a rare 1942 D penny, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the story of a penny that may look like every other coin in your change jar, but its true value might blow your mind. We're talking about the 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark, a coin that, under the right conditions, can be worth up to $34,999. That's right, one single cent, nearly 80 years old, that collectors are willing to pay thousands of dollars for. So if you have some old pennies lying around or have inherited a coin collection, make sure you pay attention, because this might be the one coin that changes everything. We'll cover the history behind the 1946 Wheat Penny, why it's so special, what gives it value, how to check yours, and how much collectors are paying today. Let's get started. First, let's talk about the background of the 1946 Lincoln Wheat cent. This coin comes from a very historic time in American history. The year was 1946, just after the end of World War II. Soldiers were returning home, the country was rebuilding, and the economy was shifting. During this time, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the iconic Lincoln Wheat Penny, which had already been in circulation since 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the Lincoln cent features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, the first real person to appear on a circulating U.S. coin. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see two wheat ears curving along the edges, hence the name, Wheat Penny. It also bears the words, 1 cent, United States of America, and the motto, E pluribus unum. Now let's focus on the 1946 edition of this penny. This coin was minted in 3 locations, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark, those from San Francisco have an S, and coins minted in Philadelphia, like the one we're talking about today, carry no mint mark at all. In 1946, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 991 million of these no mint mark pennies. So the obvious question is, if nearly a billion were made, how can one be worth $34,999? Great question. And the answer lies in the condition, rarity, errors, and historical value of the coin. Let's break it down. First, let's talk about condition. Most of the 1946 pennies have been circulated heavily. They'd passed through countless hands, been in jars, dropped on sidewalks, and carried in pockets. That wear and tear reduces their value. However, a very small number of 1946 no mint mark pennies have been preserved in mint state condition, meaning they've never been used in everyday transactions and still look exactly as they did the day they left the mint. Professional coin grading services like PCGS and NGC grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS60 or higher is considered mint state. but only the rarest examples that reached a grade of MS67 or MS68 with red luster, what we call MS68RD, are the real moneymakers. An MS68RD 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny is incredibly hard to find, and because so few exist, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. In fact, a 1946 no-mint mark penny in MS68RD condition has fetched up to $34,999 at major auctions. Why so much money? Because collectors are always chasing the best of the best, and when a high-grade, beautifully preserved coin surfaces from a common year, it becomes uncommonly valuable. Now let's talk about color designations. Copper pennies naturally darken over time, but coins that retain their original bright red-orange color are designated as red RD by grading companies. Other common color grades include red-brown RB and brown BN. The redder and shinier your penny, the more it's worth. A 1946 wheat penny graded MS68 BN might only sell for $500, but that same coin in MS68 RD could go for over $30,000. Next up, errors. Although the 1946 no-mint mark penny wasn't a major error year, there are still a few valuable varieties to watch for. Some coins from 1946 show die cracks, off-center strikes, lamination errors, and even repunched mint marks from Denver and San Francisco issues. While less common for Philadelphia minted coins, these types of errors can drastically increase value. Let's talk about how to check if your 1946 penny is valuable. Here's what to look for. No mint mark below the date. Check the area just under the year. 1946. If there is no letter, then it was minted in Philadelphia. This is what we're focusing on today. Color and shine. Is your coin bright red with glossy luster? That's a good sign. If it looks dull brown, or has dark spots, its value may be lower, but not necessarily worthless. Check for damage, no scratches, dents, or wear. Even a small ding can drop a coin's value significantly. Use a magnifying glass to look at the coin closely. Check for errors. Look for signs of doubling in the date or lettering, die cracks along the rim, or any unusual features. These may require an expert opinion. Get it graded. If your 1946 penny looks perfect, your best move is to send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine the coin, assign it a grade, and seal it in a protective slab with an authentication label. This makes the coin more attractive to serious buyers and increases its value in the marketplace. Now let's talk about real auction results. Here are some real sales that have been recorded. A 1946 no-mint mark MS68 RD penny sold for $34,999 at a heritage auction. Another example in MS67 RD went for $600 and MS66 RD sold for over $1,500. Even coins in MS65 RB condition, which are more attainable, can sell for $200 to $500, depending on their eye appeal. That's a huge return for a 1-cent coin. If you think about it, this coin represents an incredible opportunity. It's not some once-in-a-century era coin. It's not made of gold. It's just a simple, historic, copper penny, but because of condition, color, and rarity, it can be worth more than a brand new car. So what's the lesson here? Never overlook your old coins. You don't need to be a millionaire to start coin collecting. In fact, many of the most valuable coins in existence today were once pocket change that someone had the good sense to set aside. The 1946 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny is a perfect example of how history, preservation, and rarity can transform something small into something extraordinary. Before we wrap up, let's summarize. The 1946 Lincoln penny with no mint mark was minted in Philadelphia. In circulated condition, it's worth around 1 to 25 cents. In MS66 RD and above, it becomes very valuable. A top-graded MS68 RD example has sold for $34,999. Key factors: red luster, no damage, high grade, possible errors. Always check your coins and consider professional grading. And that's a wrap for today's video. If you've got a 1946 penny lying around, take a closer look. It just might be worth thousands. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell icon so you never miss a new upload on rare coins and collectibles. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going deep into the world of rare and valuable coins, and this one is truly special. If you've ever thought a penny wasn't worth much, you might want to think again, because the 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny, a simple 1-cent coin minted over 70 years ago, has shocked collectors with a recent market value of up to $55 for 88. That's right, $55,000 for a penny. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll learn the full story behind this rare coin, what makes it so valuable, how to identify one, and how you might just be able to find a treasure hiding in your coin jar, your grandpa's drawer, or a forgotten roll of pennies. Let's get started with a little background. The Lincoln cent is one of the most iconic and widely recognized coins in American history. Introduced in 1909, the Lincoln penny was created to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured Lincoln's right-facing profile on the obverse, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. For the reverse design, from 1909 through 1958, the coin displayed 2 wheat stalks, earning it the nickname Wheat Penny. Now let's fast forward to 1950, the year this valuable coin was struck. The 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny was produced at the Denver Mint, and carries the small D mint mark beneath the date. That year, Denver produced over 334 million of these pennies. At first glance, that sounds like a huge number. So how could a coin with such a high mintage be worth over $55,000? Let me explain. First, it's important to know that not all coins are created equal, and that includes coins minted in the same year. There are 4 main reasons why a 1950 Lincoln Wheat cent could be worth thousands of dollars: rarity and high grade, minting errors, color designation, and collector demand. Let's break these down. Point 1. Rarity and high grade, MS67 or higher. Even though millions were minted, almost all of them entered circulation. They were used in stores, passed from hand to hand, dropped, scratched, and worn down. Today, most surviving 1950 pennies are heavily circulated and worth only a few cents. But a small handful were never used and were preserved in exceptional condition. These are graded by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, and are given a grade on a scale from 1 to 70. Coins graded MS67 or MS68, which means mint state, with virtually no flaws, are extremely rare. A top-graded MS67 Plus Red RD 1950 penny once sold for $55,488 at auction due to its flawless surface, rich color, and perfect strike. Point 2. Color designation: red, red-brown, and brown. Lincoln cents are made mostly of copper, and copper is very sensitive to air, moisture, and fingerprints. Over time, these coins tone or darken, becoming brown or red-brown. But the most desirable color is red RD. This means the coin still has 95% or more of its original red mint luster. These red coins, especially in higher grades, are much rarer than brown or red-brown coins, and they command massive premiums. Point 3. Minting errors and die varieties. Some 1950 pennies were struck with notable errors or varieties that make them highly collectible. These include repunched mint marks, RPMs, where the D was punched more than once in a slightly different position. Some RPM varieties are very popular among collectors and significantly increase the coin's value. Other rare errors like off-center strikes, broad strikes, or die cracks can also be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if the coin is in uncirculated condition. Point 4. Collector demand and registry competition. The 1950 wheat penny is especially important to collectors who participate in coin grading registries, where people compete to build the finest sets of Lincoln cents. When someone is trying to build a complete set of the highest graded examples for each year and mint mark, they're willing to pay a premium for a coin that fills a rare spot in their collection, especially if that coin is nearly flawless. That demand drives up prices even more. Now, let's talk real numbers. The most famous example of a 1950 D penny sold for $55,488 at a public auction. It was graded MS67 plus RD by PCGS, meaning it had near-perfect details, full red color, and barely a blemish visible even under magnification. This wasn't just a random old penny. It was a coin preserved in pristine condition for over 7 decades. Other high-grade 1950 D pennies graded MS67 RD regularly sell for between $1,000 and $4,000 depending on eye appeal, luster, and collector interest. Even MS66 RD examples can bring in $300 to $800, while red-brown or brown coins in the same grade tend to be worth less, but still much more than face value. So how can you tell if your 1950 D wheat penny is valuable? Let's walk through the steps. Step 1. Check the date and mint mark. Look on the obverse side of the coin. That's the side with Lincoln's face. The year should read 1950. And just below the date, there should be a small D mint mark. This tells you the coin was minted in Denver. Step 2. Examine the condition. Does your coin have sharp details on Lincoln's coat and hair? Are there any scratches, nicks, or signs of wear? Coins with smooth, blemish-free surfaces and strong strikes are the ones that bring in the big bucks. Step 3. Check the color. Is your coin brown, red-brown, or bright red? The redder and shinier it is, the more valuable it becomes, especially in high grades. Step 4. Look for errors or RPMs. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to check for repunched mint marks or doubling. These small details can turn a common coin into a highly desirable rarity. Step 5. Get it graded. If your coin looks promising, send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate the condition, authenticity, color, and any errors, and give it a certified grade. Coins that are graded and slabbed typically sell for much more than raw coins. Now let's answer the big question. Why would anyone pay over $55,000 for a penny? Well, to collectors, coins are more than just money. They're history, art, rarity, and competition. A coin like the 1950 D wheat penny, in pristine red condition, is almost like a time capsule from post-war America. It's a physical piece of the past, preserved so perfectly that it's become an object of beauty, prestige, and investment. In fact, as modern coins are mass-produced with tighter quality controls, older coins with original mint luster in high grades are becoming harder and harder to find. That's why prices keep climbing, especially for coins certified by trusted grading services. So don't overlook those old pennies in your change jar or your grandparents' coin collection. What looks like an ordinary piece of copper could actually be a hidden treasure worth thousands, or even over $55,000. And that wraps up our deep dive into the 1950 D Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that proves even a single cent can be worth a small fortune. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode about rare and valuable coins. And let us know in the comments, do you have a 1950 D penny? Or maybe another valuable coin you'd like us to feature? Your story could be our next video. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep searching, keep collecting, and don't underestimate your change. Because one little penny could be worth more than a new car, a house deposit, or even your entire collection. See you next time. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a Lincoln wheat penny that's turning heads in the numismatic world, the 1951 D Lincoln wheat penny. You might think a penny from the early 1950s wouldn't be worth much, but think again. This 1-cent coin, if found in pristine condition or with the right features, can bring in a massive $37,466 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. Over $37,000 for a single wheat penny. So if you're curious about how and why this coin is so valuable, where it was made, what makes it special, and how to spot one that's worth real money, stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll be checking every coin in your change jar, your drawers, and your old coin albums. Let's dive into the fascinating history and current value of the 1951 D Lincoln wheat cent. Let's begin with a little background on this coin. The Lincoln wheat cent, also known as the wheat penny, was minted from 1909 to 1958. It features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design by Victor David Brenner, and 2 stalks of wheat on the reverse, hence the nickname. The wheat reverse was later replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959, but these earlier wheat coins remain highly collectible to this day. Now let's focus on the 1951 D wheat penny specifically. The D mint mark stands for Denver, one of the 3 active U.S. mints during that time, alongside Philadelphia and San Francisco. In 1951, the Denver Mint struck over 625 million Lincoln wheat pennies, making it a very high mintage year. So you might be asking, with that many coins made, how could one be worth over $37,000? That's where things get interesting. Even though millions were minted, very few were saved in gem uncirculated condition, and even fewer survived with original bright red luster. Most 1951 D pennies saw heavy circulation. They were used daily for decades, meaning they picked up scratches, dents, dirt, and discoloration. However, if you happen to find one in mint state 67 red or better, meaning absolutely flawless condition and full red copper color, you've got a rare gem. And that's what separates a common penny from a 5-figure payday. Let's talk about grading for a moment, because it's the key to understanding coin value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A grade of MS60 to MS63 is considered uncirculated but still has noticeable flaws. MS65 and above is where things get exciting. That's the realm of collector quality coins with minimal marks and full mint luster. The most valuable 1951 D pennies are those graded MS67 RD, meaning red, the original copper color. And here's the bombshell. A 1951 D wheat penny graded MS67 red sold at auction for an incredible $37,466. That's an enormous price tag for a coin with a face value of just 1 cent. Why? Because only a very small number of these coins exist in such pristine condition. The rarity of high-grade examples creates serious demand among collectors. Let's go over the key value tiers for this coin so you know what to expect if you find one. Circulated condition, very fine to extremely fine. Most 1951 D pennies found in circulation are worth between 5 cents and $1, depending on condition. Uncirculated condition. MS60 to MS63. These coins usually sell for $3 to $10, sometimes a bit more if the luster is strong. High-grade mint state, MS64 to MS66 RD. This is where value starts to increase significantly. Prices range from $25 to $250, depending on eye appeal. Top tier condition, MS67 RD. Here's the jackpot. With extreme rarity, perfect surfaces, and blazing red color, these examples have sold for $10,000 to over $37,000. Now let's talk about factors that affect value beyond just grade. Eye appeal, coins with sharp details, clean surfaces, and full mint shine are more desirable. Color designation, Lincoln cents are categorized as brown, BN, red-brown, RB, or red, RD. Red is the most valuable because it reflects the coin's original look. Population reports. The number of coins certified at a specific grade impacts value. Fewer coins at MS67 RD mean higher prices. Auction results. When a coin sells at a high price publicly, it sets a precedent and influences future sales. Market demand. Coin collecting is growing in popularity, and Lincoln wheat cents are among the most collected series, which means growing demand. But there's more. Some 1951 D pennies come with errors or varieties, and that can push values even higher. Here are a few to look for. Repunched mint mark, RPM, a mint mark that was punched more than once and appears double dot. Die cracks or cuds, raised lines or blobs caused by cracks in the die dot. Off-center strikes, coins that were not struck properly and are missing parts of the design dot. BIE error, a small die break between the letters B and E in Liberty, forming what looks like the letter I. If your 1951 D penny has any of these features and is in good condition, it could be worth much more than face value. So how can you tell if your 1951 D penny is a valuable one? Start by checking the mint mark under the date. It should clearly show a D. Then, examine the color. Does it still have that red copper shine, or is it dull brown? Use a 10x magnifying glass to check for any doubling, repunched mint marks, or unusual features. If it looks sharp, uncirculated, and has no major scratches or nicks, it's time to think about grading. For serious coins, you'll want to submit them to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll assign a grade, authenticate the coin, and seal it in a tamper-proof slab. This boosts its resale value and lets buyers know exactly what they're getting. Let's also quickly touch on investment potential. With high inflation and economic uncertainty, rare coins are becoming a popular hedge. The Lincoln Wheat Centt series, in particular, has seen strong collector interest for decades. A top-grade 1951D penny isn't just a cool piece of history, it's also a real asset that could increase in value over time. Now let's wrap it all up. The 1951D Lincoln Wheat penny is a perfect example of how an everyday object can become a rare treasure. While millions were minted, only a few have survived in pristine condition. With auction records showing sales as high as $37,466, this humble penny is a reminder to never overlook your change. Whether you're a beginner collector or a seasoned expert, the 1951D is a coin you'll want to know about, hunt for, and maybe even own someday. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more videos about rare coins, hidden treasures, and money-making collectibles. Tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. And if you found a 1951D penny or any other rare coin, share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear about it. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and always remember that one penny in your pocket could be worth a fortune. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we explore the world of rare and valuable coins that might be hiding in your change jar or tucked away in an old drawer. Today's spotlight is on a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance but has surprised collectors and auction houses with its jaw-dropping value. We're talking about the 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny, a classic US 1-cent coin that, believe it or not, has sold for as much as $29,488 in pristine condition. That's right, a coin worth just 1 cent in your pocket could actually be worth almost $30,000 if it has the right traits. So, in this video, we're going to explore the history, rarity, what makes this coin so valuable, and how you can identify if you have one that's worth thousands. Let's get into it. Let's start with a little historical background. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny is part of the legendary Lincoln Centt series, which began in 1909. These coins were introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and they replaced the Indian head penny design. Lincoln Centts were the first U.S. coins to feature a real historical figure. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse side of the Lincoln penny featured 2 wheat stalks, which is why these early coins are commonly called wheat pennies. On the obverse side, we have the familiar portrait of President Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, are discreetly engraved on the coin, often below Lincoln's shoulder or on the reverse, depending on the year. Now, in 1951, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln Centts at 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver carry a D mint mark, San Francisco coins have an S, and coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark. That's where the 1951 no mint mark penny comes in. It was minted in Philadelphia, and it's the one we're focusing on today. How many 1951 pennies were made? The Philadelphia Mint produced over 284 million Lincoln Wheat pennies in 1951. That's a massive number, which means most of these coins are common in circulated condition. And it's a big but, that doesn't mean they're all worthless. Most of these coins are worth a few cents to a few dollars in circulated condition. However, in uncirculated, pristine condition, especially if they're certified and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, their value can skyrocket. The most expensive 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny ever sold was a blazing MS-67 red example that went for $29,488 at auction. That's a life-changing sum for a 1-cent coin. So what makes this coin worth thousands? There are several key factors that drive up the value of a 1951 Lincoln penny. 1. Condition and grade. This is the number one factor. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with MS60 to MS70 representing mint state or uncirculated coins. The record-setting 1951 penny was graded MS67RD, that's mint state 67 with a full red coloration. This grade means the coin was nearly perfect, with a brilliant red shine, no scratches, and stunning eye appeal. The fewer imperfections a coin has, the more it's worth. Point 2. Red color, RD designation. Copper coins like the Lincoln Cent can change color over time. Coins are typically categorized as brown, BN, red-brown, RB, or red RD, based on how much of their original copper red color remains. Coins graded RD are the most desirable and valuable. The full red tone indicates the coin has been well preserved since the day it left the mint. Point 3. Rarity and high grade. Even though 284 million were minted, very few 1951 pennies have survived in superb gem condition. Over decades of circulation, most have been scratched, nicked, worn down, or discolored. That's why coins that somehow avoided circulation and remained in near-perfect condition are extremely rare. Point 4. Third-party grading and authentication. Coins graded by top-tier services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, fetch higher prices because they come with a guarantee of authenticity and quality. A raw ungraded coin might look good, but it won't reach the same auction value unless it's professionally graded and encapsulated. Let's take a look at some auction data. A 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny graded MS67RD sold for $29,488 at Heritage Auctions. A slightly lower grade, MS66RD, has sold for between $300 and $1,000 depending on eye appeal. Even MS65RD coins have brought in $100 to $300, which is not bad at all for a 1-cent coin. That shows you how much difference condition makes. 2 pennies from the same year, one worth a few cents, and the other nearly 30 grand. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 1951 wheat penny? Here's a checklist. Check the mint mark. If it has no mint mark under the date, it's from the Philadelphia Mint. That's the version we're talking about. Inspect the color. If the coin still has a bright coppery red tone and minimal toning or dark spots, it may qualify for the RD designation. Check for wear and damage. Look for scratches, dings, or worn areas. If the coin looks clean and untouched, it could be mint state. Use a magnifying glass. Look for sharp details in Lincoln's hair, jacket, and the wheat stalks on the reverse. Strong details often indicate a higher grade. Get it graded. If your coin looks nearly flawless, send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll grade the coin, certify it, and seal it in a protective holder, increasing its market value and collector appeal. Why do collectors love the 1951 wheat penny? While it's not the rarest Lincoln Cent ever minted, the 1951 no-mint mark penny has become a collector favorite due to a combination of age, historic design, high-grade rarity, and investment potential. Collectors also seek to complete full-date and mint sets of Lincoln wheat pennies, and finding one in top condition from 1951 can be a big challenge, driving demand and prices higher. Plus, the wheat reverse has nostalgic charm. These coins were part of American life for half a century, and they connect collectors to a time when a penny could buy candy, stamps, or even a newspaper. Wrapping up, so there you have it. The incredible story of the 1951 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, a simple 1-cent coin that can be worth up to $29,488. From a pocket change piece to a collectible gem, it's proof that hidden treasures still exist out there in everyday places. Now it's your turn. Go check your coin jars, old dressers, or inherited coin collections. Take a close look at your 1951 pennies. You never know what you might have. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into rare coins that could change your life. And if you think you've got a valuable penny, tell us about it in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love coins, collectibles, and the thrill of finding hidden treasures in your change jar, you're going to love today's video. We're taking a deep dive into a penny that most people overlook, but in the right condition, it could be worth up to $31,000. That's right, I'm talking about the 1953 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat penny. At first glance, it might look like just another old copper coin, but this one carries some surprising value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started in coin hunting, this is one penny you absolutely need to know about. Let's explore the history, key features, errors, grading, and the market value of the 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny, and why this seemingly ordinary coin can sell for tens of thousands of dollars today. The Lincoln Cent series began in 1909 and was introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design by Victor David Brenner was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of the symbolic Lady Liberty. The wheat reverse design, with two stalks of wheat curving around the sides, ran from 1909 to 1958. These are now known as wheat pennies, and are highly collectible due to their age and historical design. In 1953, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln Wheat cents at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark under the date. Denver coins carry a small D mint mark. San Francisco coins show an S mint mark. So, when we say 1953 no mint mark, we're specifically referring to pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Over 256 million of these were made, a large number. So why are some of them now worth up to $31,000? Let's break that down. What makes the 1953 penny valuable? Most 1953 no-mint mark pennies are only worth 1 to 50 cents in circulated condition. But there are a few key reasons why some are worth thousands, especially when certified by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Here are the 4 major value drivers. 1. Condition, grade. The single most important factor is the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. With grades above MS 65, mint state, being especially valuable. A 1953 penny in MS 67 red, that's mint state 67 with bright red luster, is extremely rare, and that's where the high values come in. These coins look like they were struck yesterday, no scratches, full detail, and that original fiery copper red color. One such coin sold for a jaw-dropping $31,000 at auction due to its flawless condition and extreme rarity in that grade. Point 2. Red color designation, RD. Lincoln pennies naturally darken over time. Brown, BN, coins are the most common. Red-brown, RB, coins are intermediate. Red, RD, coins are rare and most valuable. A 1953 penny that retains 90% or more of its original red copper luster gets the red, RD, designation. Combine that with a high grade like MS 66 or MS 67, and the value jumps significantly. Point 3. Low survival rate in high grades. Even though 256 million were made, only a few hundred have survived in gem condition, meaning MS 66 or higher with red luster. Most were heavily circulated or stored improperly, which means corrosion, nicks, and discoloration. Because so few top-grade examples exist, collectors compete to get them, which drives prices higher and higher. The 1953 no-mint Mark Lincoln Wheat penny is one of those coins where quality outweighs quantity. Point 4. Rarity of mint errors. Although not as common for 1953, some no-mint Mark coins have been found with striking errors, including off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, BI errors, a die break between the letters B and E in Liberty. These errors, especially when combined with high grades, can make a coin far more valuable, sometimes reaching thousands of dollars even without the perfect MS 67 grade. Now, let's talk actual numbers. What are collectors paying for this coin today? A 1953 no-mint Mark penny in MS 65 red, RD, regularly sells for $200 to $400. A 1953 in MS 66 RD can sell for $1,000 to $3,000. A top population coin in MS 67 RD has sold for as much as $31,000 at major auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. These are authenticated, slabbed, and graded coins certified by PCGS or NGC, and usually in competition between elite collectors who want the best example available. How to tell if you have a valuable one. So, how do you check if your 1953 no mint mark wheat penny is valuable? Here's a quick checklist. Check the date and mint mark. Make sure it says 1953 with no mint mark below the date. That confirms it was struck in Philadelphia. Check the color. If your coin is still red and shiny like a new penny, it might have the RD designation. Inspect for damaged coins with scratches, discoloration, or where are not worth much. The fewer marks, the better. Look for errors. Use a magnifying glass to inspect Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and Lincoln's face. Look for doubling, cracks, or die breaks. Get it graded. If you think your coin has serious potential, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. This is the only way to reach the full market value of a high-grade wheat penny. The 1953 no mint mark penny may not be a key date or have the lowest mintage, but it's a perfect example of how condition and rarity combine to make modern collectibles extremely valuable. Collectors love wheat pennies because they represent the golden era of US coinage. Before designs changed and before modern mints became more precise. Even more, it gives hope to everyday people who might have an old coffee can full of coins in the attic. A single penny, if preserved properly, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. And that's what makes coin collecting so magical. So there you have it. The incredible story behind the 1953 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that could be worth as much as $31,000 today. It's a reminder that history, rarity, condition, and luck all play a role in making some coins far more valuable than their face value. If you've got some old pennies lying around, now's the time to check. You never know what you'll find until you look closely. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on valuable coins and collectibles. We cover rare cents, nickels, dimes, quarters, and so much more. And if you've ever found a 1953 penny, or think you might have a rare one, tell us in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep collecting, keep searching, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. 1 cent could turn into $31,000. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're taking a closer look at one of the most fascinating and potentially valuable coins from mid-20th century America, the 1956 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. Now, on the surface, it might look like just another old copper penny. But what if I told you that under the right circumstances, this small 1 cent coin can be worth up to $23,488? That's right, a coin that once bought a stick of gum could now be worth a small fortune. So stick around because we're about to uncover the story, the value, the rare varieties, and the grading secrets behind the 1956 Lincoln wheat cent, and how to tell if you have one of these treasure coins sitting in your pocket, a coin jar, or an old drawer at home. Let's get started by understanding the history behind this coin. The Lincoln wheat penny, also called the wheat cent, was first introduced in 1909, commemorating the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. The obverse shows Lincoln's profile, while the reverse shows two wheat ears arching along the edges, symbolizing American agriculture and prosperity. This design remained in use until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Now, the 1956 Lincoln cent is among the last in the wheat penny series. It was struck during Dwight D. Eisenhower's presidency, a time when the United States was post-World War II booming and economically thriving. In that year, two primary mints were producing these coins, Philadelphia and Denver. The Denver mint coins feature a D mint mark under the date. But the coin we're focusing on today, the 1956 no mint mark penny, was struck in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not use a mint mark on Lincoln cents during that era. Now, let's talk about how many were made. In 1956, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 420 million Lincoln wheat pennies. That's a big number, which means most 1956 no mint mark pennies you'll find today are common, especially in circulated condition. But as always in numismatics, it's not just about how many were made, It's about how many survived in perfect condition, and whether any unusual varieties or errors slipped through. So, what exactly makes a 1956 no-mint mark penny worth up to $23 for 88? Let's dive into the key factors that determine its value. First and foremost is condition, the most important factor in determining a coin's market value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with anything above 60 being considered uncirculated or mint state. For Lincoln Wheat cents, condition also includes color designations. These are BN, brown. Most circulated coins fall into this category. RB, red-brown. Partially preserved red surface. RD, red. Fully original mint red luster. The highest value goes to coins graded MS66 RD or higher, which are considered near perfect, brilliant examples with no signs of wear and full red color. A 1956 Lincoln Wheat penny in MS67 RD condition is extremely rare, and one such example sold at auction for $23,488. This record price shows just how much collectors are willing to pay for top-tier specimens of otherwise common coins. But condition isn't the only factor. There are also varieties and errors that can significantly raise the value of a 1956 penny. Let's go over some rare 1956 penny errors and varieties to watch for. 1. Double die averse DDO. This occurs when the coin die strikes the planchet twice but slightly offset, causing a noticeable doubling of the inscriptions like "Liberty, in God We Trust," or the date. While not as dramatic as the famous 1955 DDO, there are known 1956 DDO varieties that command hundreds to thousands of dollars, especially in mint state. Point 2. BIE error. This fun nickname comes from a small die break between the letters B and E in Liberty, which sometimes makes it look like there's an I between them, hence BIE. These die break varieties are collectible and can sell for $15 to $100 or more, depending on the severity and grade. Point 3. Off-center strike. If the coin was not properly centered when struck, you could get an off-center error. If the date is still fully visible, and the coin is off-center by 10 to 60%, it can be worth $50 to $300, or more for uncirculated examples. Point 4. Repunched mint marks, RPM. While technically more relevant to Denver coins, some 1956 cents have RPM errors where the mint mark was punched more than once in slightly different positions. For the Philadelphia no-mint mark variety, this is less common but worth checking for any unusual design anomalies. Now that you know what makes these pennies valuable, here's how to check your own 1956 wheat penny to see if you've got something special. Step 1. Look for the mint mark. If there is no mint mark under the date, it's a Philadelphia penny. That's what we're focusing on in this video. Step 2. Check the condition. Is the coin shiny and red? Does it have any major scratches or dings? If the coin is fully red, clean, and crisp, you might be looking at an MS grade coin. Step 3. Use a magnifier. Look closely at the text, especially Liberty and In God We Trust. If any letters appear doubled or stretched, you might have a double die variety. Also check the rim and edges for cracks or off-center strikes. Step 4. Weigh the coin. A normal 1956 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your coin is significantly under or over that weight, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet, another potentially valuable error. Step 5. Get it graded. If you believe your 1956 penny is in near perfect shape or contains an error, it's time to get it professionally graded. Trusted services like PCGS or NGC will grade and slab your coin, giving it legitimacy and increasing its value in the eyes of collectors and buyers. Now let's talk about the current market values for the 1956 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny. These are average ranges you can expect based on condition and rarity. Circulated, BN 3 to 25 cents. Uncirculated, MS 60 to MS 63, RB $3 to $10, MS 65 RB $20 to $75, MS 66 RD $150 to $500, MS 67 RD $1,500 to $23,488 depending on appeal, auction house, and demand. Double die or major error coins, $100 to several thousand. So even if your 1956 penny isn't worth 5 figures, it might still be worth far more than 1 cent. Collectors love the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny because it represents the end of an era. Just 2 years later, in 1959, the wheat reverse was retired in favor of the Lincoln Memorial. That makes late wheat cents, especially in top condition, very desirable. They're affordable for beginners, but high-end examples still excite serious collectors and investors. To wrap things up, the 1956 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny may seem ordinary, but it can be extraordinary when the right conditions align: high grade, brilliant red color, and rare errors or varieties. With a top market value reaching $23,488, it's a coin worth examining closely. So check your old jars, boxes, and pocket change. You never know when history and value might be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you never miss another rare coin alert. We post new videos weekly all about rare coins, hidden treasures, and collecting tips you won't want to miss. And if you've got a 1956 penny or any other rare coin, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep hunting, keep collecting, and always check your change. You just might be holding a $23,000 penny in your hand. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're about to uncover the surprising story behind a tiny coin that could be hiding right in your pocket. And believe it or not, it might be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the 1958 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike by reaching a staggering current market value of $45,838 in top condition. That's right, over $45,000 for just 1 cent, so if you've got some old change laying around, a jar full of pennies in your kitchen, or even a coin album from your grandparents, make sure to stay tuned until the end, because you might be sitting on a valuable piece of American history without even knowing it. Now let's jump right in and explore the history, value, rare features, and how you can tell if your 1958 wheat penny is one of those extremely valuable examples that collectors are dying to get their hands on. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln Cent series was first introduced in 1909, created to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, and quickly became a beloved part of American coinage. The original design featured the portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, which is still in use today. The reverse design showed 2 stalks of wheat, which is why pennies from 1909 to 1958 are commonly referred to as wheat pennies. Now here's something important to note. 1958 was the final year that the wheat reverse design was ever struck for circulation. In 1959, the U.S. Mint replaced the wheat stalks with the Lincoln Memorial design, in honor of the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That makes the 1958 wheat penny historically significant. It marked the end of an era, but not all 1958 pennies are created equal. The vast majority of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark. That's why you'll find most of these pennies without any mint mark under the date. These are referred to as 1958 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat pennies, and while many are worth only a few cents in circulated condition, a select few are worth tens of thousands of dollars. Let's talk numbers. The U.S. Mint produced over 252 million Lincoln wheat pennies in 1958 at the Philadelphia Mint. That's a huge number, which is why common circulated examples are not especially rare. If you have a regular 1958 penny that's been through circulation, it might be worth around 2 to 10 cents, maybe a bit more if it's in decent shape. But when you find one in unbelievably high quality, that's where the value explodes. We're talking about MS-67, MS-68 red condition, coins that are virtually flawless, with rich, original copper luster and absolutely no wear. And if you think nobody would pay big bucks for something so small, think again. A 1958 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny in mint state 67 plus RD sold at auction for a staggering $45,838. That's nearly $46,000 for one single penny. What makes a 1958 penny worth so much? So what exactly makes a 1958 no-mint mark penny worth such a jaw-dropping price? Let's break it down. 1. Exceptional grade, MS 67 and above, coins are graded on a 70-point scale. Anything graded mint state, MS, is uncirculated, and once you get above MS 65, prices start climbing fast. A coin graded MS 68 red is nearly perfect, with full mint luster, no contact marks, and bright original color. Only a tiny fraction of 1958 pennies ever struck survive in that kind of condition, making them extremely valuable. Point 2. Red RD designation. When copper coins are freshly minted, they shine with a bright red hue. Over time, most oxidize into brown or red-brown colors. Coins that retain 95% or more of their original red color get the RD red designation from grading services like PCGS or NGC. These are far more desirable and command a huge premium over brown or red-brown examples. Point 3. Extremely low population in top grades. Even though over 250 million of these coins were minted, the number of 1958 wheat pennies graded MS 67 RD or higher is incredibly small. The highest graded examples, especially those certified by PCGS, are few in number and highly sought after by registry collectors who compete for the finest known coins. Point 4. Last year of issue for the wheat design. Because 1958 was the last year for the wheat reverse, many collectors want to own the finest known example of this historical design, and they're willing to pay big money for it. Now let's look at real-world auction sales that prove just how valuable the 1958 no-mint mark penny can be, one of the finest known examples. Graded MS 67 Plus red by PCGS, sold for $45,838 in a public auction. That sale shocked many collectors and solidified the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny as a major key for those building high-end collections. Other examples in slightly lower grades, such as MS 66 RD or MS 67 RD, have sold for anywhere between $500 and $5,000, depending on eye appeal and market demand. It's not just about age, it's about grade, color, rarity, and condition. How to check your 1958 PNNY? So how can you tell if your 1958 penny is one of the valuable ones? Here's what to look for. 1. Check for no mint mark. You're looking for a 1958 penny with no mint mark under the date. That confirms it was struck in Philadelphia. Point 2. Examine the color. Is the coin bright red, or has it turned brown with age? Only red coins in pristine condition will fetch high prices. Point 3. Look for full strike and luster. Use a magnifying glass. Are Lincoln's hair details sharp? Is the wheat reverse fully detailed? Are there any scratches or blemishes? 4. Consider getting it graded. If you believe your coin is uncirculated and has full red color, submit it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. A certified grade can skyrocket the value and help you sell it confidently. The 1958 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny is a perfect example of how a common coin can become a treasure under the right conditions. Collectors love it because it's the end of an iconic era, it has historical value, and in top condition. It's one of the most valuable wheat pennies ever minted. So whether you're a lifelong coin collector or just someone curious about the change in your pocket, don't overlook the 1958 penny. A single coin, well preserved, graded, and bright red, could bring you nearly $46,000 in today's market. So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1958 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny, a coin that might be hiding in your change jar, but could be worth $45,838 or more if it's the right one. Now it's your turn. Go check your old coin collections, your grandparents' coin jars, or that dusty penny book you forgot about. You never know when one small coin could lead to a life-changing discovery. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the bell notifications so you never miss our latest videos on rare coins, coin values, and the hidden treasures of US currency. Got a rare 1958 penny or a coin you think might be valuable? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and always check your pocket change, because your next penny might be worth $45,838.